Hi, it's Ruth. I'm in Idaho at Bruno Dunes, and I'm going to show you how to make a really simple bike tube bracelet. So you'll need a section of tube, about yay big. You could measure it on your wrist to get an idea of whether it'll fit for you. So measurements are pretty loose, but if there's a little bit of room, maybe an inch on each side, that's pretty good. So what you're going to want to do is fold that tube in an inch or so, and you'll make two little holes in it like a snake bite. You're going to want to go through both layers of tube. I'll draw the little snake bite holes so you can see what you'll be trying to do is to go through those two little holes. And if you have a needle, that's awesome. If you don't have a needle, I've been using a paper clip. I've straightened it out here, and then I'm going to fold one end in like so, and then you'll cut a tiny strip of bike tube that you'll use as thread. So you can thread that through your needle pretty easily. This is the tough part. If you have a punch, like a leather punch, that's really great to use to get through both layers of tube. It can be a little bit tough, but tenacity works also. So I'm going to push, 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 and I'm through the layers of tube. And then here, I'll just wiggle that extra piece of paper clip through the hole too. Yay! So now I've gone all the way through both layers. And I'm going to pull it until I have, I don't know, maybe a couple of inches on the other side. Now I'm going to wrap around the outer edge and go back through that hole I made. It's a lot easier to go back through the hole once it's there. I just lost my thread. It happens. Just going to re-thread through that section. Make sure my thread goes through. Pull, pull, pull. And I have a nice loop around the outside there. There we go. So now I'm going to go through the other section of snakebite. So that other little hole I made right there, I'm going to just stick my needle or paper clip through there, punch all the way through both layers, wiggle that end in. There are a lot of mosquitoes around here, but it's really pretty. And then pull, 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 pull until I get my tube through both layers. This portion of it takes a little bit of tenacity, and you know, if your thread breaks, just stick with it. Okay, so now I'm going to wrap back, just like I did on the other side, through my hole, my second hole, and pull that end out. So you have, it looks like a continuous stitch. So you've wrapped around both edges. Now I'm trying to find my end. Here we go. Pull the end through. Oh, mosquitoes. Okay, so now I have a continuous stitch on one side, but on this other side, it still has a little gap. So I want to go back through my very first hole, and because I want to tie a knot, and I want to tie that knot on the inside, I'm just going to go through one layer. So I've gone through that hole, but I'm going on the inside of the fold. It's my destination. So now I have one end that ends on the inside and one end that's poking out of the back. Alright, so I want to move my paper clip over to that stray end and put him back through the hole there, back through this hole. So that both ends end up inside the fold. See that? Does that make sense? Okay. So then I'll just tie those two ends together. Like a double knot. Like, tie it there. So I want to do the same thing on the other side. I'll fold over, poke through both layers, and get my string in here. And it doesn't really matter which side you start on. I started on one side the first time and then on the other the second time. As long as when you're finished, if you go make sure everything's knotted underneath the fold, it's good. I lost my string, but recovering here. Whoops, oops. So we're wrapped around the outside, going back through the second hole of the snake bite. There. Like so. Wrapping around and going back through that hole again. Almost there. I have a full set on this side and a gap on the back. So I'm going to go through that hole just halfway underneath the fold. Pull it through. Switch my needle to the other side, to the other little stray bit. And I'm doubling up that middle stitch. I'm going back through this hole. So both my ends end up under the fold, and tying a knot once, twice, so it's knotted underneath the fold just like the other side. So then I'll clip those edges, or clip those ends so they're not hanging out. Great. We're really close now to just the basic one. I need one more strip of tube, and that strip of tube, I need to cut it really quickly. Cutting a little strip of tube. That strip of tube can go through the fold you just made. So you made a little fold here. So just stick my needle through that folded section. Pull out the tube, da-da! And then through the folded section on the other side. So, pull it through.